Hey, Jason Rice here. I wanted to, again, kind of do one of these live posts, give an update on what's going on in the current market. And I, as the title said, want to kind of give heads up on what's going on with new cars and what dealers need to do about it for their used car department. So we've got a lot of dealerships in their markets. I've been talking to a few major manufacturer type dealerships. New car sales are down 20% in some markets for a lot of the major players. And we know last year seemed to be the new cars peaked, and that it was actually down a little bit. And then people believe that that will continue to be down. And so as new car sales are down and a lot of dealerships, there's not a day that goes by that I don't talk to or hear from a dealership about struggling with new cars. Hey, Steven. Hey, Don. Hey, Guy. Hey, Todd. You guys, chime in if there's any feedback you want to have. But the new cars are struggling right now. And so, obviously parts, service, F&I, you need to make sure you're strong in. What's up, Jonathan? But also you need to make sure used cars are standing tall. I have a lot of new dealerships right now that were eating out used car inventory, meaning they're at 50+% aged inventory, and they want to get serious about used. And I want to tell you, December as a company was one of our strongest months in adding clients. And typically that's not the case. Usually November, December, guys are cutting back, looking into forecasting next year, not spending more money at the end of the year. But it was actually one of our biggest upticks in adding accounts threefold. And so that to me kind of tells me that, dealerships are sensing this, and they know they need to get right in their inventory, both new and used, because if they're struggling with new, they got to get really efficient in what they're doing, how they're doing it in marketing and so forth. But they got to make their used car department strong to make up the difference, because if they're going to be taking this hit on new, and there's not a lot of control that you can do on new, right? So if you can't control new, that means your allocation, what you get, what the rebates and incentives are, you're going to have to really rely on your used car department to make up the difference. And that's the beauty about used cars, is you do have that freedom and that flexibility to do what you need to do. And so right now, a lot of our clients that we had before going into this new year, we were using October, November, December, trying to clean up inventory. So when we go into the January, or really mostly February, March, April tax season, it's mostly that March time, tax season time, I want to be able to make money and be profitable in those months, and not use those months to eat out of my inventory to clean it up. But if you're late in the game, that's probably really what you need to do, is use these upcoming months in February and January, February, March. Use that tax season traffic and to get out of this inventory. Now, a couple good signs going on. One good, one bad, but that we trend out. One, used car online shoppers, autotradercars.com, January always spikes, 10-15% spike in shopper counts going from December, which is typically the lowest shopper count for the year, up into January. And February and March tend to be a little bit higher than January and February. So shopper counts are going to go up online. That means people are starting to look at cars. And so that's a good thing. Shopper counts are going up, but it's even stronger than it has been so far for January, unless the second half drop off. Instead of 10-15% increase from December to January, we're seeing 20-25% increase in shopper count. So that's a good thing. The other thing we're tracking, and I wanted to try to get this on my screen, and I'm not sure on Facebook Live how to share my screen once I go live, but we've seen increases of markets where the new car inventory. So I have a Ford store in a prominent market. We look at a 100-mile radius online, autotradercars.com, 100-mile radius of their franchise type for our clients. So again, this Ford store, we look at his zip code, 100-mile radius, and we pull how many new Fords are listed online, how many used Fords are listed online, and certified Fords. And that gives us an overall presence of what's going on in their market. Is there a flood in inventory levels? Well, I could tell you this, we've been tracking this for over a year. So exactly January 2017, January 18th to today, exact dates, there's been a 15% increase in new Fords on cars.com, a 12% increase in new Fords on autotrader.com. So think about that. New car sales are declining, but yet inventory levels are higher, 15%, 12 to 15% higher online this year than last year. So new cars incentives are going to get strong. The manufacturers are going to want to push these cars out. If the traffic's not there, used cars is going to have to be strong. Gross profit on new is probably going to tighten up even more. Used got to be tight. And I mentioned independents on this, especially independents, because if these new car franchises are realizing this and they're going to step up their game on used cars, you as an independent, you don't have new car traffic, you don't have new car revenue coming in to help your store. Some independents don't have service to help drive their stores. So their used car department has to be strong. What's up, Adam? Independents have to be strong, because I guarantee you franchise dealers are going to start paying attention to this, because, they had a decrease, and a lot of dealerships had a decrease in new car sales. Some of my dealers are kind of breaking even from this January to last January so far, and not seeing a big uptick. It might finish a little bit higher, but it was, again, a lower year for those dealerships in a lot of places. So dealerships are going to get stronger and new, paying attention to how they're listing, what they're listing, and their pricing. But they're also going to get really strong on used. Use these months if you're not cleaned up. And what I mean by that, my policy would be 60 days. If I have any inventory over 60 days old, it needs to be cleared out. Use January, February, March to get out of them. If you're clean, use these months to make gross, okay? Use these months, price your cars competitively, and get going. And that's the other thing I thought about that I want to make sure I brought up in this video. You try to get used car gross to make up for new car sales. So what I mean by that, if you're not making new car sales and you need to drive gross profit, don't drive your used car prices up to try to make up that difference. You might get away with it when the tax season hit and the traffic is there, but I tell you what, going into April and May, it's going to be a slower season, and you might have some aged inventory sitting out there that you're going to have to eat up on. So I'd rather use these months to clear out inventory, stay competitive on price, get your inventory zero over 60 days old if you can, but no more than 5-10% of your inventory over 60 days old. Best practices for dealerships to be really efficient and profitable. Get both gross and volume and used, okay? There is that holy grail. You can have both. And those stores that do that, get both, are doing 60 to 70% of their sales in the first 30 days, okay? So again, get more efficient with that used car inventory, because new is going to get tight and new is going to get stronger. I think dealers are going to have to pay more attention to new and get more aggressive and get stronger in how they're marketing and branding. But also it's going to force them, if sales are slower like it was last year and it continues to go down and there's an increase in inventory levels out there for these new car dealers, the used is going to have to be right. And again, that's going to force the independents to have to step up and start matching these deals too. So any questions, any concerns, any insight you want me to give me a call at 314-568-2754. jrice at lotpop.com. I could give you a free inventory evaluation. Just go to our website, pop it in there. We'll take a look at your photos, description, give you some tips on how to get better. Again, no pitch there, just trying to help you market your cars better. But I'm going to wrap this up. And again, trying to do this every day. I was a little beat up yesterday. Didn't get a chance to do it. But hopefully bring you something again tomorrow. I'm going to wrap this up. And again, give me a call. Questions every Wednesday. Pat Klein, what do you mean by that? I've seen that comment there. Questions every Wednesday. Anybody, you might seeing what you want to, if you had any questions. Anybody else out there? Again, I'm going to wrap this up. Give me a call or email if you'd like any more information or more insight that we have. Oh, 10 a.m. That's right. I was like, what do you mean? Questions every Wednesday? No problem. And you guys, again, reach out, jrice, lotpop.com, 314-568-2754. I can tell you, again, no problem doing a call with any store. Take a look at what they're doing, what they can do better. No catch, nothing to sell there. Just want to be able to help dealers get better with their operations. And I'm going to wrap this up. Hopefully see you guys again tomorrow. Thanks.